Of course, Egypt, the Egyptian government in particular, have been working tooth and nail to be able to resolve this problem, and many plans have been taken into concern, and they have never lost hope. And on this very important issue, we're very delighted to be having with us our guest, Huwaida Barakat, International Cooperation Manager, Informal Settlements Development Fund, Ministry of Housing. She is going to give us her input about the different means to resolve the problem of informal settlements. Good morning, Mrs. Barakat.
A very good morning to you, ma'am. As Dina said, it's a very important issue. But let's talk in numbers first. First, do you like to name them shanty towns or informal settlements?
In fact, we prefer to call them informal settlements.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many people, how many Egyptians are living in informal settlements, and how many informal settlements? I mean, it's not only in Cairo. This is, I think, one of the main mistakes we commit to think that it's only Greater Cairo. I think it's distributed all over Egypt, or in a specific, not only in the Delta, or not even in Cairo. Can we have some statistics first, some numbers? How many people, how many areas are affected with this phenomena? If I can say that it's a phenomenon?
It is a phenomenon, actually. And we're trying to have a preventive plan for it. But let's first talk about the number of people living in informal settlements. It's estimated to be 18 million Egyptians living in informal settlements, yes. But we have different kinds of informal settlements. And this is what I always say, that it's not only one kind of informal settlements, so it's not only one intervention. And this is why it's a big issue. And this is why in 2008, the government has decided to have a body dealing with the informal settlements, which is the Informal Settlements Development Fund. We have two main types of informal settlements, unsafe and unplanned. When you go to unsafe, which represents only 1%, and it's all over the country, both of them are all over the country. It's only 1%, however, they are of 4 different degrees. And for the unplanned, it's approximately 37.5% all over the country. When we talk about unsafe, and I would like to stress on unsafe because this is a strategy we're adapting, a 3-year strategy. It's a dire need, actually. Grade number 1 or degree number 1, which is the life-threatening conditions, and it's approximately 25 to 26 cities in Egypt, just like the case, you know, those living on a rock slide or a stream, a water stream, torrent or something like this. And the only thing I can do is to relocate them. The second degree, we call them shakes, and they are of 4 different types. Either they are built using improper materials.
Excuse me, you call them?
Shakes.
Okay.
So they are either built using improper materials, or the building itself is a wreck or a ruin, or it's a historical building.
Yeah.
And I have approximately 248 cities of this type. And the only solution I have for them, again, is to relocate them. The third one is a health threatening. There are 59 areas. Yes. So usually it's an environmental thing.
Rubeiki is included into this, where leather industry is there. And as far as I know, that Prime Minister Engineer Sharif Ismail had a meeting in specific to tackle this Rubeiki area and to relocate people who were living there to another place to reconstruct the area or the region as a whole, because of what you have just kindly mentioned, the health issues or the health concerns.
Yeah, exactly. It's either they don't have infrastructure, sewage and stuff like this, so it's health threatening, or like you just said, that it's close to manufacturers and it's environmentally
inside
pollution.
The industrial zone.
The fourth,
please, go ahead. No, please.
The fourth one, which is almost 16 areas in Egypt, and those people they have a 10-year problem. They don't have papers, documents. So they live in a building built with proper materials.
Licenses.
They have, anyone can kick them, because usually the land had been, it's not their land, it's a land owned by the state. And a building had been built and people lived there, but they don't have the papers, so they can be kicked out at any moment.
Right, Mrs. Barakat, how do you see the impact of all those kinds that you've kindly mentioned right now? How do you see the impact on that on the new generation and on the livelihoods of the people who are living there, and on the total cultural background, building a new cultural background that is associated with such a phenomenon like the informal settlements, that also produce a new cultural background that emerged in society that we haven't heard, that it has its own music, its own mental state of mind, that it has its own language that we have seen. If you can talk about
Vocabulary.
that. Vocabulary.
I thank you so much for this question.
I would prefer the word language much more because it's a whole language.
Yeah, it's a new culture, you know. But actually, it's not only us who are negatively affected by this phenomenon. Even the people inside the informal settlements, as human beings, they are negatively affected by this phenomenon. So basically, they don't have the services, the proper services. So you cannot go and blame them for having a different language or having kind of an attitude problem, because they don't have schools, they don't have health clinics. They had to raise their resilience, a self-made culture, a self-made services. Everything had been done from within. No raising awareness had been done from our side as a government or on our side as even a community. And in fact, it's not only the government. And if you leave it to the government, they can't do the job alone. And this is why I hope we will have the time to talk about our conference, which had been held on 4th of April, where we gathered all the stakeholders. Because it's a big phenomenon where we need different stakeholders. At the level of the government, you need Ministry of Education for raising awareness, for having proper education
so
for these
let's talk about
kids.
the conference, and because I know that we are not going to have much time for it.
Yeah.
Would you please elaborate on what happened in this conference and the recommendations, or the recommendations released by the end of it?
Yeah. In fact, I believe it's one of the achievements we did recently, because this is the first conference to gather all stakeholders. And when I talk about stakeholders, I talk about government, public sector, private
NGOs.
sector, exactly, local and international NGOs. I'm talking about international donors, be it Arab or Westerns. I'm talking about businessmen. And even, and the most important actually, are the people living in the informal settlements. We are all have to work together. So when we talk about the problem of having a different culture or different attitude, this is where we need Ministry of Education with us, we need Ministry of Health with us, Ministry of Social Solidarity, and it had been attended, Dr. Ghada Wali attended the conference, Dr. Ahmed Zaki Badr, because we need the governors and their support, because usually it's in their government. Yeah, exactly. And we signed different MOUs.
I remember something.
Yeah.
Dina, do you remember when we had the honor to have Dr. Layla Skandar in?
Right, and we talked with an extensive interview with her.
Yeah, with her on this issue in specific, and she says something, I think, great, or to be accurate, the other side of the coin. Don't think all the time that we are speaking about thugs and about criminals and about stuff like that when we are talking about informal settlements. You can find doctors, lawyers, teachers, stuff like that. Why we do have this impression?
Yeah, she's absolutely right. In fact, and this is why with the Ministry of Urban Renewal and Informal Settlements, which have been now merged with the Ministry of Housing, but Dr. Layla was the minister of this ministry, she had the nice motto of human is the essence of development. It's human beings. In fact, our people in informal settlements, they are great people. You can find patterns that you would like to see them as role model, especially women. And I'm sorry, I'm being biased a little bit, but they are like that.
We are all, and so Medina, by the way.
Yeah, I'm so happy. So they are so brave. They are real fighters. They try to do the best for their families and their kids. They dare actually to work on jobs that no other woman can
exactly.
do. Just like plumbing and carpentry.
Right. This is when I want to hit on this very special subject. You raised a very important point, the role of women inside informal settlements. It could be like, she could be a role model to the whole world. Nobody could ever cross their minds that people would attain such jobs the hardships of lives. They overcome it with resilience and with eloquency, with elegancy. You can never imagine that women have all those, they possess all that strength in their characters. If you can talk, because you are in that field, talk to us about the strength of women inside the shanty towns and their struggles, the daily life struggles of women.
Yeah, very difficult life, and they make it. You know what? And whenever they see that we're giving opportunities to their kids, they fight to send their kids to schools.
Sure.
They fight to go and attend, because usually these communities are conservative, you know. So they are reluctant to send their women, most
the
of them actually,
environment is not
especially
safe
in the
also.
country. Yeah?
It's not safe also.
Not all of them actually. You know what? We went and we visited different informal settlements. They are not just like what Dr. Layla said. Permit me to quote her. They are not criminals. They are our people. Actually, informal settlements are everywhere within the Egyptian.
I do remember that when we had the honor to have her, she had just a few days earlier a tour in Manshiet Nasr.
Yes. We went to Manshiet Nasr. Let me tell you something. Zaraib 15 May, which is famous of Hay Zabbalin. They are amazing people. You have no idea. They live in a very difficult conditions, yet they keep a smile. They help one another. They believe that they will have a better future. And we have a very nice program with the Italians. And this will be the first unsafe area to have international donors working with you in a co-finance. The government is paying 50% and the Italians are paying 50% to do industrial work and turn the neighborhood from unsafe to safe. Then start developing on the people, building a school for them. Because
how people there are reacting to these programs?
Impressive. You have no idea. And they still believe this is our neighborhood. We're going to make the best, to make it the best place to live, and we're not going to leave it. They are impressive. You have no idea. We visited them, Dr. Ahmed Darwish, the Deputy Minister of Housing for Urban Renewal and Informal Settlements. In fact, he paid a visit to the neighborhood. They celebrated that the government is coming because we will upgrade and develop the neighborhood you know, they live in. And they had a small ceremony, and the kids came and they had, you know, a small show, and they sang Tahya Masr and very nice, you know, national songs. They love the country. They believe that they will have a better future. And one of them, a small kid, she's 9 years old, she said, you know, I'm going to be a doctor.
Inshallah.
She doesn't have a school. Inshallah, she will be. And you know, I will not going to leave my neighborhood. I'll be a doctor here in this neighborhood to help my people. It's impressive. Our people in informal settlements, they are impressive. You have no idea. Just you have to look at them in a different way.
Right. Where do you see the challenges that come in the way while you're exerting every effort every day? What challenges that meet you every day so that you think could be set some plans to overcome them?
You have financial problems, actually, in order to fund only the 3-year strategy, because it's a 5-year strategy with UN Habitat, but the 3-year strategy is for the unsafe areas, grade 1 and 2, the sheikhs and the...
I hope that you are not suffering bureaucracy.
But you know how much we need only for grade 1 and 2? 15 billions, which is a big budget, you know. So we have a financial problem. This is why we gathered all the stakeholders in order to unite the work, because people are working scattered. This is why you cannot see the impact, and we would like to have one umbrella and we work all together. The contribution can be in kind, in cash, whatever, even your time, you're donating your time, you know. So the government is thinking different. It's opening the door to different methodology of interventions. We need to unite our efforts to have impact on the society. You have another problem which is actually major. It's the people living in informal settlements. They don't trust us a little bit, you know. And I understand why and from where they're coming. But we need them to believe that we're thinking different. We're doing things in a participatory approach. We go and we talk to them. We don't relocate them without their approval. And whenever we relocate them, this is the only solution, because it's unsafe area, you know, naturally. It's when you have something like the way we have to relocate them. It's not that we're giving them hard time.
It's not a luxury.
And I'm sorry to say, Egypt is one of the very few countries that construct the building, provide infrastructure, and relocate the people in very good neighborhoods. And now we're thinking different. We're thinking about sustainable community. So it's not only about building you live in, it's about having services, it's about having a school in the same neighborhood, it's about having a clinic, it's about having even the workshops where people can move, you know, and work. It's, so you're raising their resilience where they can be independent. This is how the country is thinking. Be independent, believe that you don't want to have another informal settlement, because sometimes I relocate them and they create another informal settlement, you know. So this is, we need to raise the awareness, and your role as media is very important because people listen to you. So they need to know how they can live up to the level, the rights actually, to live in a good neighborhood, having all the services. This is how media can raise the awareness of people.
What about their awareness? I mean, their political awareness first. When you talked with them, have you found that they are all the time updated with the surroundings, with the circumstances, with what's going on, or they prefer to be a little bit isolated?
No, on the contrary, actually. Actually, we have allocation in our budget only for raising awareness, and especially for this participatory approach we're talking about. So whenever we go and talk to them, they know exactly what is happening around, and they can see that the government is thinking different, and the government is talking to them, and this is why they are reacting positively with us, unlike before. They welcome us. I wish I have pictures of what happened in 15 May when they were celebrating us, you know. Before they hated the government. Whenever we go, they were blocking our way. But now they are welcoming us, and we go and they talk to us. So no, they are aware that we're different, and they are behaving differently, but a little bit slowly. Time is not on our side, let me be frank. And we need to work on a preventive plan while we're developing. The phenomenon is huge. So unless they help us prevent this phenomena, it will increase.
We're setting some plans for the coming year. Do you have, projects that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, actually we have a 5-year plan. 3 years of them is dedicated, like I said, to the degree 1 and 2. And we will be working on the unplanned as well. And the last year is dedicated to a preventive plan. It will be, a lesson learned will be yearly documented and working on a preventive, but we will specify the last year on our 5-year strategy where we will be having a preventive plan, so we won't have new informal settlements. The first 3 years for the 351 neighborhoods, I'm talking about developing and upgrading approximately 84 unsafe neighborhoods on yearly basis for the first 3 years, grade 1 and 2, while be working parallel in the unplanned. And unplanned, I don't need to relocate them. I just work on infrastructure and having better services.
So
socioeconomic activities.
So there is a strategy, so there is a well-organized plan, so tomorrow is another day, and I really like the 2 times you have said, our people in the informal settlements, our people. I'd like to underline this word because it was really touchy. Mrs. Huwaida Barakat, the International Cooperation Manager of the Informal Settlements Development Fund. Thank you very much for being with us, ma'am. Thank you very much for your input, and have a very good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
By this, we come to the end of this very special episode of The Breakfast Show. My name is Nermeen Abdurrahman, and I had all the pleasure to have with me my dear colleague, Dina Hussein. Thank you, Dina.
My pleasure, Nermeen. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow is another day with another crew. Stay tuned only on Nile TV International.